guys, welcome back to another week of Art with Alicia. Today we are going to be making self-watering water bottle planters. So let's get started. What you're going to need is an empty plastic water bottle, about a foot of yarn, a nail, some painter's tape or masking tape. I grabbed a napkin, a utility cutter, scissors, paint, and a hammer. So to start off this project, if your water bottle has a label, we want to take that off right away. So I'm just going to use my scissors and cut that off. Once you have your label off, you're going to take about the top third of your water bottle and you're going to cut it off. So I'm going to take my utility knife, and this would be a great moment to ask an adult to help. But I'm going to cut off the top about third. I'm going to try to make my line as straight as possible, but this can be tricky since the plastic is so fragile. When you've cut off the top part of your bottle, we're going to take our scissors and cut away any sharp edges that we may have. Once you have that top part cut off, we're going to take some masking tape or painter's tape and we're going to tape around the edge of the water bottle. Once you have your tape on, we're going to take our paint and we're going to paint the top part where the water bottle leads to the spout. And then we're going to let it dry. While that's drying, I'm going to grab out some soil and some seeds. So I have my soil out here ready to go. And I have two different seeds, but I'm going to choose to plant these ones. So I'm going to plant some flowers, but you can choose to plant anything you'd like. I'm going to get my seeds ready. Once it's done drying, I'm going to give it another coat just because I can see through it and I want mine to be a solid orange color. once again, I'm gonna let it dry. Once it's done drying, we're gonna take our cap off. And we need a nail and a hammer. You have to be very careful, but we're gonna nail a hole in the top of the cap. So I didn't have to pound too hard, and I got the nail to make a hole. So now I'm just gonna press it through, and you want to make the hole big enough so it's easy for the yarn to slide through. So you might have to hammer in a few different spots just to make sure you have a big enough hole. Or if you have a big enough nail, you only have to do it one time. But once we have that hole made, we're gonna thread our piece of yarn through it. And then I'm gonna pull my yarn through. When you make your knot, you wanna make sure that you leave enough room where there's still yarn that's going to be inside of your container, just because you want it, once the water touches the yarn, it's going to float up, and if you just leave a little bit of yarn at the top, your plant will not get watered. So we want to make sure we leave enough space. So I pulled out a little bit, and now I'm going to make my knot. And then I'm gonna twist the cap on. Once I twist my cap on, I'm going to take off the tape that I had. And I'm gonna pour some water into this bottom part of the water bottle that I cut off. Stick into the water and place your bottle upside down, just like that. Once you have your yarn in the water, we can add some soil. So I'm going to fill my cap up halfway through with soil. Now I'm going to add my seeds. And now I'm going to add more soil to cover up my seeds that I just planted. And there you have a self-watering water bottle planter. So what's going to happen is the yarn is going to soak in the water, and it's going to travel through the yarn up into the soil, so you don't have to water your plant. You just have to make sure that the plant has enough water in the bottle. I hope you guys really enjoyed this activity, and I'll see you next week.